I, Devanjan Bhattacharjee, and my co-host Aditya Agarwal, on behalf of the Entrepreneurship Development Cell NIT Durgapur, welcome you all to our crypto panel discussion, Futuristic Escapade, here at ESUMMIT 22. This is a panel that will let us know how far and large we've come from the days of simple computing to these days establishing complex worlds within worlds with blockchain and metaverse and all of that terms that you keep hearing about. Our panel is highly decorated with experts in cryptocurrency, metaverse, blockchain, and more. Over to you, Aditya.
I would like to start by introducing our esteemed panelist. We take great pleasure in welcoming our first panelist, Mr. Vatsal Kanakiya, who has deep experience in venture capital world and works as a principal and CTO at 100x VC. 100x VC is new India-focused venture fund, looking to be in the launch pad for next 500 moonshots coming out of India. Welcome, sir. Next, we have Tanya Katpalnam. Ma'am is the founder of Eat My News. She has transformed her passion for news reading to find a platform called Eat My News, which is a community-driven media platform where writers and people from around the world share their stories. Welcome, ma'am. Lastly, we have Mr. Utpal Chakraborty, Chief Digital Officer at Allied Digital Services Limited, former Head of Artificial Intelligence at YesFan. He's the AI Global Ambassador for Swiss Cognitive, a world-leading AI network. Welcome, sir.
And I think our fourth panelist, Mr. Asutosh Kashyap, has also joined.
Sir, are you there?
Sir?
Ashutosh, sir?
Mr. Asutosh Kashyap, are you in the meet? Okay, so either way, I think he has some net issues. So meanwhile, let us tell you more about him. Mr. Asutosh Kashyap is a prolific TEDx speaker who is skilled in market research, risk analysis, negotiations, and business-to-business relationship management. Sir has spoken at numerous colleges and has motivated many young enthusiasts like us. No, sir, you're not audible. Can you unmute yourself?
You're not audible.
Okay, sure. Okay. Surely. Meanwhile, we'll continue, commence with the session until then. Okay, sure.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
And I'm sorry to keep you guys waiting, but now the time is finally here. We all get to ask you these questions that we've been dying to ask you, and look for experts' opinions on these numerous questions that all of us have had at one point or the other. So I'll begin with the first question. Right, Aditya? I'll begin with the first question and you can take it up after. Yeah, sure. So first question that I'll address to all of you is that today, when we look for a platform with global reach for trading in crypto, right? So, to buy and sell NFTs and many other W3 technologies like many open found companies like OpenSea, Uniswap, Coinbase, but these are all majorly foreign based. What is your view on the lack of an Indian-based platform like this with a global reach, and how can we go about creating such a platform? Hello, was I audible?
Yeah. So
let's begin with Mr. Vatsal Kanakiya and then Miss Tanya ma'am, and then we'll move on to the other panelists. Mr. Utpal Chakraborty, would you? Yeah, okay, sure.
Yes. Okay. So, yeah, okay. So, first of all, thank you so much. Am I audible, by the way?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to this event, and with the eminent panelist. To answer the question, it's a little bit tricky question for me, and probably I'm looking forward for the other panelists to answer this. So if you look at the NFT, basically, if you think the NFT trading and all other things till now. So NFT for me till now is a little bit in a nascent state. Okay, but that doesn't mean that it is not at all mature. It is quite mature. It is maturing, but again, probably it will take a little bit of time to get the actual attraction of getting into your portfolio. Okay, because nowadays everyone is like it is saying that if you want to have a good portfolio, then you should have also some kind of a digital asset in your that portfolio, right? But how NFTs are taking that place, at least for a conservative economy like us, okay, it will take a little bit of time kind of a thing. And now coming to a platform, Indian platform kind of a thing, because there are a lot of things, because people are already aware of the gas fee and all other fees are like nobody is liking that, right? And that is probably one of the reasons the NFT things are not moving into that area. Because I am also part of advisor to one of the Indian social media platform, okay, which is going to be launched very soon. It's a privacy focused social media platform, wherein we actually try to integrate. We are trying to integrate NFT into the. We want to make it an NFT powered platform, but again, the challenge is the gas fee. Okay, so if you integrate with any existing platforms, kind of thing. But having said that, like Indian platform, yes, of course, if we have such kind of a platform, it will be great. Okay, because probably many of the Indians, okay, millions and billions of the Indians are already trading and already doing. And also, if you look at on the metaverse, NFT, and the entire this digital asset and digital currency side, Indians are playing a major role. That's why Mark Zuckerberg, he himself told, like this Indian developer community, okay, is going to play a major role in this entire game. Okay, so he himself told. So in that way, if you look at, we'll be contributing in many ways into the entire ecosystem. But unfortunately, at this point of time, we don't have anything. But I'm sure, like in coming years, there will be, because now government has also changed its stand, right? So they have cleared their stand on digital asset, digital currency, and all. And government is also coming up with the digital currency. So that's what I can say. So I would like to hear from the other panelists also what is their views on this.
Yes, sir. So Vatsal Kanakiya, we would like to get your view on this.
Sure. So, broadly talking about building platforms, right? You need two kinds of signals there's a whole paper that's been written on this, but basically there's two kinds of beacons, right? There's one is a signaling beacon, and then there's beacon which actually is a winner beacon, for lack of a better word. I can't remember what the actual word is, right? A winner beacon is something that says, okay, somebody's already won in this particular space. And so the beacon shines to everybody saying, okay, this is a good space to be. And a signaling beacon is more along the lines of somebody just virtue signaling, saying, hey, this is a great space. I'm putting my money, I'm putting my time in it. I'd love to kind of see this space grow in the country, right? In India right now, for NFT, for Web3, whatever, right? We have a lot of signaling beacons, and that's great, because I think in most economies, majority of development and majority of impact as to where money is driven, where development happens, is largely initially driven by signaling beacons. So that is great. We have a bunch of VCs, we have a bunch of thought leaders, some really smart people talking about how Web3 is the future, NFTs are the future. So lots of signaling going out. So that's a great sign for the ecosystem. Now what we're waiting for is a couple winner beacons, right? We've already had one in Polygon, right? But very few others which are which you can tell as an India story, right? Apart from, there's a lot of Indian founders who are building in Web3 and they've built it outside of India, perhaps, but specifically not in India, where you can say, okay, this is an India story, right? Which you might just say for Polygon. So once we have a couple winners, I think we're gonna see this space blow up a lot more and lot more kind of people come in and build out in the Web3 and NFT space.
Yes, sir.
So thank you for your input, sir. To this, I would like Ms. Tanya Katpalnam to come and tell us, because she's no stranger to creating successful platforms, right, with a global reach. So how would you go about creating such a platform, and how would you sustain it in that sense?
Okay, thank you so much for having me here, right? I think Vatsal did mention and spoke about, Polygon-matic being an Indian story, which is actually true, right? I think sometimes it's all about the kind of perspective we view things by, right? Instead of, just viewing it as a fact that, India has not developed a Rarible or an OpenSea or a very well-known platform, but we're not far in the game, right? I think, Polygon-matic was created by a very, very successful Indian founders. And, if you hear their backstory, if you, just try and understand where they come from, it's going to be a very, very inspiring story for you to see. India has created some wonderful platforms, right? There are platforms like CoinDCX, there is a WazirX, right, which was acquired by Binance. So I don't think that we need to view this industry, just purely from a country basis, because right now what the world is seeing is a major cusp of innovation and a change. Such a change has not happened before. We're all moving towards a world which is decentralized. And I think that's a bigger story than, if this project has come from South America, has it come from China, has it come from India, Russia, Europe, wherever it is coming from, right? It's the fact of the matter is that everybody today is creating for the world. And the world is becoming more unified with the new innovation that is coming in. So there are so many projects that are coming out of India, and there are many, many successful projects that are being developed by the Indian creators. So that's how I like to view this opportunity. And this is how I see the story as more like a world story instead of, story of different countries.
Sir, now I would follow up to that. Sir, Utpal sir has talked about the conservative mind of Indian civilians. So is that something like we should worry about, like we are missing something again in this game, like we might have missed in several games like internet boom, as we are behind in that? So is that something that we are missing out, or the Indian mind should wait, like let NFTs come to market and let it get settled down, and then they should invest in that and add NFTs to portfolio? So I would take your stance on that. So we would start with Utpal sir on that.
So I actually, it is not conservative mind, but it is our economy is a conservative economy. I want to correct that.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So basically, because if you think about the economy as a whole, okay, how people invest, okay, and how people look at this entire ecosystem is a little bit different than how people probably from US or from European countries they look at. And also there is a little bit of difference between the age groups also, right? So millennial looks at in a different way. So probably the mid-age and the old age looks at in a different way. Okay, so that is there. So if you look at the entire what do you call Indian style of managing economy, here one thing is very, very important, and that it has got both good side and bad side, you can say. So first of all, our economy is much more mature and stable. Okay, so that's why we're seeing a lot of countries. Okay, so they are in boom and tomorrow they are nowhere. right? So in India, it is not like that because the Indian economy is from the grassroots level. It is very, very, so in that way, anything coming into India in a mature way and we accept it, I think that is the good part of it. But at the same time, in many cases, probably we are losing the first mover advantage, right? So there is always a first mover advantage in everything. So I think we should have a right balance to that. Okay, so these new things are definitely any new technological, you can say innovation, or for the lack of word, which comes, it comes with a bubble. Okay, so definitely that bubble is there, but inside that bubble there is something very, very solid. Okay, wherein you will see the unicorns will come up from there, right? So bubble will definitely blast, and that we have seen in the e-commerce and all kind of .com bubbles and revolutions and all those things, right? So bubble will go away, but inside that bubble there is a very, very solid thing, okay, which will build couple of unicorns, and even in India I'm hopeful there. Okay, so in that way I don't like Indian economy is a mature economy if you look at, and that's the reason, because the government has understood the importance of digital asset and digital currency today, and that's the reason under the supervision of RBI, okay, Reserve Bank of India, they are trying to bring a government regulated digital, because you know the scams that are happening right today in this digital area. Okay, so we want to get rid of that also. People losing crores of rupees or this thing. This is also not a good idea, right? Just for the sake of name of that hype and name of this thing. So we want a mature, trusted kind of a system. And I firmly believe that India will be able to bring that.
So,
Vatsal sir, we would like to get your opinion on that.
You know, there's a saying that India always disappoints both the pessimists and the optimists, right? I believe we're going to keep growing. I don't really have any concerns saying will we fall behind ego. We're always going to be, we're always going to be moving in the right direction. That's my take. I am an eternal optimist about India. Yes, things will go wrong. Yes, we'll take 2 steps back, but for every 2 steps back, we'll take 4 steps forward. And I think that is what is more important and what should be focused on. I don't really have anything to add beyond that, to be honest.
Ma'am?
Yeah, so you spoke about the fact that Indians could stay far behind, but I would like to add here that the crypto skeptics would have, in initial stages said that this momentum in this team is not going to pick up in India. And until, 2 years ago, when I really started investing, a lot of people will always say that, this is something that's just going to remain restrictive to, just the urban youth and stuff. But the kind of adoption that crypto has had is phenomenal. These platforms have about 15 million users, that we are talking about 10 to 15 crore people who are investing in crypto today. Yes, we're a little far behind when it comes to the volumes, but there are a lot of traders, a lot of people who understand this ecosystem very well in our tier 2 and tier 3 cities. And I think we have to cut people some slack, because this industry, as much as we know a lot about it and it's become very mainstream, it has just begun. It is in a very, very initial stages. What people really still understand, I'm talking from a layman's perspective, is as something known as Bitcoin that they can buy. But Bitcoin will take some time. It'll have to solve some of its own bottlenecks to be able to become a mainstream or an alternate to investing in gold, or maybe you bringing it into a streamlined payment system. that is adopted by the masses. NFTs are at a very, very nascent stage, right? NFTs, most people don't understand because they view it as buying art. But I think it's a lot more than that. And it's going to take some time for it to take its true shape. But the good part is that there's no denying that crypto or NFTs or the metaverse or Web3, these are actually the future. So and a lot of this also comes from how a particular government of a country's uptake on crypto industry in general is. Recently, we've seen that crypto has been taxed, but it's not been banned. And our government is not as stringent on crypto regulations as Chinese government has been. So this has also created a lot of positive sentiment among the crypto enthusiasts that this industry is here to stay. And I think over a period of time, it's my personal belief that the Indian government is also going to soften its stance, reduce the obnoxiously high taxation. I'm sure they had their own thought process because, as I told you, right, the industry is at a very nascent stage. And, at this stage, till a lot of these projects solidify, or, you actually are able to see a lot of projects mature, there ought to be a lot of scams that can happen, right? So any government would try to protect people and ensure that they don't start investing in crypto thinking that it's some quick money scheme or it's a lottery scheme, right? Lotteries are very popular in India for the same reason that people want to make quick buck. So everything happens at the right time, right? To conclude, I'd just like to say that let's wait for the timing. And but the way Indians have adopted to crypto is just phenomenal. It's beyond imagination, right? UPI penetration took years. It took about 10 to 15 years for people to get comfortable with the idea of actually making a payment through UPI. I don't know if you remember, but until 5 years ago, I never used UPI because people were very skeptical and thought that UPI is something that can actually be hacked very easily, or you lose your money. But how quickly have people learned this? It's really, really phenomenal.
So building upon that question, okay, that leads to two different questions. I'll address a shorter and a much more pertinent question first. You mentioned something about the government's status about regulating crypto, right? Like it has not completely banned it like China has. So this is a question that many of us in the audience and everybody would want a straight answer to. Okay, and the question is this, and this is to all the panelists. Do you think crypto should be legalized or regulated or banned? Mr. Utpal can start.
Okay. So I'll give my perspective, and this is completely my personal perspective. Okay. See, we need to understand the economy of a country. Okay. So when we talk about decentralization, it has got a very attractive meaning. So in that way, if you look at, okay, even governments are not required, right? Okay, government itself is a centralized kind of a thing, because many things in our life we go through the government. Okay, so decentralized concept, although it is very lucrative, okay, but to actualize it, okay, there are a lot of things need to be done. Okay, and I think in the economy also to get to such a state, okay, wherein I completely allow crypto, okay. And in that way, I am just somehow building a competition of my own currency, which is there. Okay, so traditional way of doing currency kind of thing. I don't think so. It is not going to happen in that way, at least in a country like India. Okay, and that's the reason government has taken a stand that we'll build our own currency. And if you look at another thing, very minutely, we'll have to understand that government has told very specifically, they have not told that crypto is a currency. They are saying crypto is a digital asset. Okay, because you cannot take any kind of what do you call tax on a currency, right? You can take tax on a asset. So that's the reason they are trying to build a currency. Now there is another angle also, like the currency that government of India is going to build, the digital currency. Is it going to give a competition to our traditional currency? Yes, of course, it is going to give, because digital currency itself has come with a lot of advantages. Okay, and once people start using it, definitely they will go with that. But in that way, it is not going to impact the economy of the country as a whole. So we need to understand that part also. Okay, just for the sake of, adopting new technologies, new ideas, and all those things, we have seen many countries, okay, they have ruined their economy, okay, simply, right? But in India, at least we are in a safe place that our economy is quite stable. It is not volatile, right? Our petrol prices, diesel prices are increasing. That is okay, fine. But still, we are in a much better condition. I am rest assured that whatever asset I have, I am not going to lose it at once, one day, and I am completely on the road. Okay, and so that is the good part of India. That's what I can say at this point of time.
Thank you, sir, for your inputs. Now we finally have Mr. Asutosh joining us as well. What is your answer to the question?
So basically, my answer is, kar lo na ban. Kar paaye. Simple. Nothing more. Government had to allow crypto to exist because people are trading. Kya kar loge? Net off kar doge. Like, basically, we are the people, like, we believe in decentralization. I'll give a very random example. College students might relate. Who is government to decide what I'm going to watch on my laptop? Like, how the shit they can ban anything? Who gives them this power? Second comes, hum kehte hain, Bitcoin, Ethereum, it's not backed by anything. What's the fuck currency is backed with? Bank mein jaake sona nahi milta. It's simply written. Ye main dharak ko 10 rupees ada karne ka, something of that sort. It's backed by government only. Governments do fall, nations do fall. So simple enough, like, मेरा यही कहना है इस क्वेश्चन को एक लाइन में आंसर करके देख लो बैन लीगल करोगे लोग उसमें आएंगे इफ यू वांट मेक इट लीगल पीपल विल इवेंचुअली कम ऑन इट लाइक इवन व्हेन इट वाज नॉट गिवन अ लीगल लाइक अभी भी टैक्स लगा इट हैज नॉट बीन गिवन अ लीगल स्टेटस इन इंडिया एज फार एज आई नो and like I work somewhere around 20 plus projects in past 1.5 year in community building and marketing and they were like global projects generally. So that's the thing. In most of the countries, it's not allowed. Okay, like people are staying into NFTs. Ab internet ban kar loge. Because the servers use are IPFS servers. Decentralization happens on server. Like coding languages, like I hope there are engineers over here. So coding language is not changing. Smart contracts are on Solidity. And people said ki yeah, funds idhar udhar ho jate hain. So that happens. That happens in everything. There will always be a more smarter hacker which will be able to find a bug. Like a team, they have to solve thousands of bugs and the hacker has to find a simple bug, right? So of course, and coming to another point, like why Bitcoin or Ethereum ke prices are high, like I think it was being discussed. So it is a type of deterrent basically. Just think of a system, आपका जो mempool होता है ना किसी भी Bitcoin का ये उसमें there is a finite number of transaction and finite number of spaces. That's why block height वो 1.6 MB fixed है. 1.6 MB थी ना block height I guess. Yeah, it is a fixed at that only. Now just think, एक ब्लॉक के अंदर 20,000 ट्रांजैक्शन है मैं क्या करूं 20,000 ट्रांजैक्शन $1 के करके डाल दूं ठीक है और ऐसे मिलियंस ऑफ ट्रांजैक्शन कर दूं योर मेमोरी पूल विल बी फिल्ड अप ठीक है दिस इज कॉल्ड अ डॉस अटैक बेसिकली डॉस अटैक होगा people will stop using Bitcoin कि यार Bitcoin पे तो DOS अटैक हो रहा है Ethereum पे तो DOS अटैक हो रहा है so that is actually a deterrent so that people don't do these type of attacks and only legit people are over there second yeah तो ये मतलब दोनों questions
so your ultimate point to make, a very strong point that you just said, is that you cannot regulate crypto because it is essentially deregularized. You cannot even try to regulate.
Like I can challenge you, go and write about politicians and you will face consequences on Twitter, right?
Okay. No. So the thing is, okay, that's a very strong opinion.
Yeah.
And sure, that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, having a .in allows you to be everywhere. Like you can't be tracked. So this is what decentralization is giving you. Like, Ukraine, Russia, people are surviving on Bitcoin and decentralized money. Can government ban it? Can government actually ban it? Like, that's the question. Can you ban internet? That's the question then comes over here. So like, that's my take after like seeing 1.5, 2 years working with projects around crypto, NFT, IDOs and all. Yeah.
So those are some serious points to consider if you think about it. Mr. Vatsal, ma'am, Ms. Tanya, what are your inputs on this? First, Mr. Vatsal, followed by ma'am. Can you please elaborate? What is the answer to the question? And what do you think about Mr. Asutosh sir's comments on this issue of regularization?
Sure. Broadly, I believe the way forward is going to be, learning how to adopt and co-opt cryptographic technologies into our existing methodologies. Just like Mr. Utpal, forgive me, said, this has to come with thought and with careful deliberation on how we can integrate into it. But yes, broadly, I am, I believe it is supposed, it's better to make it legal and to support the ecosystem. But obviously, you also need to keep educating all the users, all the retail investors. You need to keep educating yourself on what the possibilities are, what the assets really are, and then kind of build on top of it.
Okay, ma'am, your inputs now.
Yes, cryptocurrency is not legal in India, but it is taxed. So can anything illegal be ever taxed? Can there ever be taxes on drugs? No, right? So this in itself is a very strong statement because the government can say that it's legal and stuff, but what that will do is that I'll also try and speak from a more balanced standpoint, because a lot of viewers must be thinking that this panel is filled with people who are crypto enthusiasts and are very, very active proponents of this space. But the moment government, again, my personal opinion, makes a statement saying that crypto is legal, that kind of gives a green signal to a lot of people that this is something that we must not be missing out on. And right now, unfortunately, there are too many scams that are happening in the crypto space. So we need to protect the institutional, the normal investors, who are investing their hard-earned money, right? That message needs to be given very strongly, that you cannot just follow somebody blindly and start putting your hard-earned money in several projects without really understanding the underlying technology. And that's why I'm saying that we have to wait for the space to mature a little bit. And but again, my other standpoint would be that I am a crypto proponent. I will believe the fact that crypto was something that was started, Bitcoin was something that was started to shake up the powers, the central powers, and create decentralization. And the moment you talk about decentralization, who gets the most comfortable? The central figures, figures who are kind of controlling the financial system across the world. It's a financial system that we're talking about. We're talking about some extremely powerful people, extremely powerful governments. I mean, there was a recent news, right? I mean, HSBC was something that was very, very strongly against crypto, but now, they've themselves partnered and acquired land and, are opening their stores. There's lots of such news that will keep coming of big financial institutions which are seeing a future for themselves in the metaverse space. as far as a ban is concerned, it's proven that it cannot be executed. In China, the ban happened, but then sooner or later, the government realized that we can put a blanket ban on crypto, but if you do that, you're actually dismissing a very very important technology called the blockchain technology, which is industry agnostic, right? It has use cases in multiple industries, and you're going to be left far behind in terms of innovation if you actually put such kind of a ban in place. And theoretically speaking, there is a ban, but it's been extremely unsuccessful in China as well, given the fact that they have such stringent regulations. So I don't think a blanket ban today is possible. Governments understand that. They're being smart about it. People are being smart about it as well, to pull out their money from a lot of central exchanges and trying to park their assets in DEXs. So I think it's an overplay of who outsmarts the other. But the government understands that people will always find loopholes. People will always find ways to be able to do it. But yeah, as far as the mass adoption, as far as the mainstream adoption is concerned, there is going to be some regulation for some time till the space matures and till we understand it fully.
Yes, thank you, ma'am, on that input. I would continue to the comment of Vatsal sir on educating the masses. So, in one of his interview, CRED CEO Kunal Shah said that one of many reasons why Indians are not rich is lack of financial literacy in masses. As crypto trading platform, how big a challenge is that? Because crypto trading is something people believe who have some financial background find pretty. So, what's your take on that? I would start with Mr. Vatsal.
Yeah, I think it's very critical to build the right tools and the right platform to educate. And this is going to be one of the larger opportunities for startups as well, around onboarding. It's been 12 years into the ecosystem, and even today I would say onboarding and exchange is the largest opportunity in crypto, right? How do you make sure more and more people get in, and in a easy manner, in a frictionless manner? And that's going to be like that for a while. What happens is, crypto is largely community driven, right? As you might know, initially there's a bunch of engineers and builders who kind of built it in under closed doors until they decide to open source it. Then the multiple kind of phases of launching any protocol or any dApp, the testnet and so on and so forth. So that whole process is driven by community. That whole process is driven in an open source manner, right? To kind of build trust in the code, build trust in the things you can read and see, rather than in the people actually building it, right? So it doesn't matter who's building it in the end, as long as I can read the code and I can trust it, and I trust that the community as a whole, we build it in the right way, I'm fine with it. Biggest barrier to education today is, most people just don't know how to get into those communities, right? These communities are in the niches of the internet. It's like in a Telegram group or a Discord group, Discord server somewhere, right? And the layman will never get access to that, right? So the layman will never know if a particular project is good or not, if it has a strong community or not. We'll never get to learn from the community. So that is where the challenge will be. How do you kind of expand from your early adopters part, people who are kind of evangelists, right? Those core community members, to the larger masses, while keeping quality of education and communication just as strong, making them feel just as much of a part of the ecosystem, and yet kind of not doing it in a unscalable manner, right? That's going to be one of the biggest challenges for all projects going forth, whether it's a it's a new protocol itself, right? Whether it's a new dApp, whether it's a new coin on its own, kind of, right? In the end, everybody is going to have to build community. Everybody is going to have to educate, right? And that's where kind of the moat for Ethereum and blockchain happens, right? Where they've slowly over so many years built that community, built that reach, built that education. So any new project coming up will have to do that anyway. So going to be very critical to see how projects will be able to do that in a very scalable manner, right? Keep educating people without making them feel, stolen from, or making them feel lost. They should never feel like, oh, I burnt my hands, right? I tried once with this project, it didn't go well, and now I'm never doing it again. They should keep wanting to kind of come back, try more, and do more with the project. That's going to be critical. So very, very important part of it. There are no solutions though. Everybody's still figuring this part out.
Ashutosh, sir, we would like to get your stand on that.
Yeah, guys. So, can you just repeat the question next again? Because the answers were related around community and all. So I just want to have that focused answer. So if you can just repeat once.
Sir, the question was that one of the many reasons why Indians are not rich is the lack of financial literacy in masses. So, as crypto trading platforms, how big of a challenge is that? Because crypto trading is something people who have some financial some less of financial background find tricky. So how big of a challenge is to educate the masses?
So I have been working with CoinSwitch actually recently. So I have been seeing the data out of India, how people are working on it. So what I felt, there are two things basically. Indians were very quick to jump on crypto, right? They were very quick. Yeah, there is something. And a lot of campaigns were run out by a lot of crypto exchanges where, they did good. People came on to the platform, but the wallet balances of people are too low, right? Like when I see the data of Indians, I can bet like 95% of Indians don't have a MetaMask wallet, right? So so there are two parts of it. The type of people who are into crypto. There are two parts. One are who are into decentralization, and one who are looking for ease of use. So it is always easier to get the ease of use people who can just get on an exchange, put some funds over there, do trading and all. But eventually what happens? Just think of this thing. We are living in a fucking crazy world. Top 10 coins में 2 coin meme coin थे, Shiba Inu and Dogecoin. They did not had any base, completely carried out by market sentiments. So here the community angle comes into. What I saw with all the projects, I basically work in the marketing growth and community building and engagement is the specialization that I do work on. Eventually, any Web3 startup which is decentralized, they need a community. If you don't have a community, basically you're not going to thrive in the long term. So that's the thing, like getting that community, teaching them, because people do get into your Telegram group very easily. We have created 60,000 members in a Telegram group within a month by marketing. So members do come in, but when you will see the quality of chat that is happening, the quality of questions that they are asking, that is right now, on the very niche level. Like right now, people are interested. Yeah, we want to be a part of it. We want to know about it. But eventually, maybe due to their busy schedule, they are not, whatever they are doing, maybe everyone has a regular job. They are not able to study around it. So taking people on any platform is the easy part, right? Getting them download the app or getting them into your Telegram. थोड़ा डिस्कॉर्ड में इंडियन ऑडियंस तो ना के बराबर ही आती है. Mainly we do this with global people. So what happens is that लोग आ जाएंगे, but the education level is no. So that's where you need the community, so that eventually those people who are onto your platform, they stop losing the funds and they start to become your brand loyalist and they start to promote crypto. Like this is how I started someday. मेरा एक फ्रेंड था, 2 या 3 अप्रैल थी, वी वर गोइंग फॉर अ ट्रिप. ही वाज लाइक, भाई आजा 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 क्रिप्टो में आजा, बहुत पैसा होगा. तो हिज मोटिव वाज मनी, because there was bull run going on. So this is like what I believe ki community angle is very important. Bringing people onto crypto is very easy stuff these days. Like getting to buy people an NFT. Like I raised 3 Ethereum in a single day just by putting a WhatsApp story ki there is this project I'm planning to invest in it, can flip it nicely. So this is something like getting people on is very easy. Educating them and keeping them for long term and making them your loyalist, crypto loyalist, it's the difficult part. That's where like companies and we face challenge as community builders on how to get it done. So yeah, figuring that out along with time and more the अभी के टाइम पे आर्बिट्राजिंग यूज टू बी वेरी डिफिकल्ट. आज से 1.5-2 साल पहले, ठीक है, बहुत सरदर्दी होती थी, यहाँ से यूएसडीटी लेना, वहां बेचना. नाउ विद द प्लेटफॉर्म्स इट हैज बिकम अ बिट इजियर, नॉट अगेन वेरी इजी. विद 10 years down the line, development in tech, it will be more easier. With more easier and more, internet penetration, it will be more easier to reach out to people, educate them. And with Indians, यार Indians तो मतलब हर चीज में like बहुत धीरे आते हैं, because मतलब Indian government के इतने सारे, like if you will see how to open an NBFC or something ना, like AIF certifications, it's hell of a job, right? So normal people like me, you, we can't start a fintech startup because all of those regulations that government is trying to protect the people. So sometimes I feel कि वो थोड़ा सा भी ज्यादा हो जाता है. like लुटने दो ना यार, मेरा भी डूबा है. जब डूबता है पैसा ना, तो लोग जागते हैं, अरे मैंने TFA नहीं किया था, let me do this thing. So and again, like the financial policies of the country, I feel like they give 5%, 6% tax. In US, it's -1% tax. So slowly the government will have to start changing their not tax, sorry, rate of interest in bank. Basically, you get money to put your money into bank account, and in US they are charging money. Banks are charging money if you put money. So this allows people कि यार बैंक में तो डाल नहीं सकते, कहीं ना कहीं इन्वेस्ट करना पड़ेगा उन्हें. So these are like government की भी policies थोड़ी होती हैं. And yeah, India, it's not even 100 years of freedom. So yeah, overall we are doing really good into crypto. In the next 10-20 years, like India is gonna do awesome. Like people are coming up with great projects, techies are coming up with great projects, and this knowledge bandwidth gap, this is being reduced. और यार like population इतनी है ना इंडिया की, like हो ही नहीं पाएगा जल्दी. It will take time eventually. So yeah, that's my take over getting the people on your platform or their education bandwidth and retaining them into your community wala part. Thanks.
Now I would like to take the input from Utpal sir, and I would like specify it, like how to stop people from getting misled into it, because educating is a thing, but in the terms of education, people often get misled. So how people should be very wise in that. So how to stop people from getting misled?
So currently, if you look at till now, what was happening in India and also many of the countries, it is always, it is happening under the radar, you can say, right? But this time, after the union budget, it is declared that like now it is taxable. So I think Tanya has rightly said, so when something is taxable, so definitely it is not completely illegal, okay? But they don't want to open it up in that way. So on education side, basically, if you want to democratize this, okay, that is a different process altogether, and that requires a different kind of endorsement, okay, from the government, from different bodies, okay. So when it will be completely democratized, but here what is happening right now is like through communities, okay. And it has got its own challenges. Okay, so you have to build the communities in that way, educate the communities there. You have to retain the communities. So that is also very, very important. So this way, yes, you can. If you look at the whole population, you can capture a very little bit of this thing, and with that only probably we are doing quite a good profitable business kind of thing. But when you come to that much education and all those things, definitely you require that endorsement. And if it happens, then it will be, everything will be like if government, so for example, government currency comes or government project comes, or for say government makes it legalized and kind of thing. At that point of time, it is a matter of a couple of days, in fact. Okay, people will all be, because they will take that initiative, those kind of things, it will reach to the much people. But otherwise, it will carry on with the route which is currently being there, community kind of thing, and doing that. I am also part of those kind of communities. I am also doing in that way, learning a lot of things. Kind of approach is going to be there. So, in short, what I can say is basically, I think, so we have in India, we have got all kind of communities, right? We have got techies, okay? So the tech community. We have got the millennials who are actually, they are embracing these new things, which is good. We have got a little bit of conservative people from the bureaucrat and the government and from the existing financial institutions, probably. So that is also there. But I think this right balance is very, very important, okay? because ultimately what we'll have to see is what kind of a country we are living. Okay, what kind of a security comfort that I have in my country, financial security and all other securities also. Because you have seen in the name of globalization, okay, so I support governance. I'm an advocate of globalization, supporter of globalization. Many of the countries has misused that, okay, or many of the countries has taken the advantage of that. Okay, so as a country, okay, we need to see, because India is a very big market, right? And everyone wants to take the advantage of this market. That is the biggest market. So today, if you look at anywhere, whether it is Silicon Valley or anywhere in Europe, Australia, they are trying to think of any kind of business model. The first market comes into their mind is India, right? Because this is the biggest market. But we, as India, we have to protect this market also. Okay, this market should not be exploited, right, by somebody else. Of course, you can do your business in this market. We are quite democratic. Everyone is welcome. I mean, nobody is like restricted. But at the same time, we have to. So this is also our asset, right? As an Indian citizen, this is our asset. So I think the crux of the thing is that right balance and timing is very, very important, because everything comes with a lot of bubble. Okay, that bubble will blast one day, but at the same time, we should be balanced enough to sustain the economy of our country, sustain the economy of our people, consider how we are, growing in this way, and we should not be exploited. So that's another thing in the age of globalization. So that's what I can say.
Thank you very much, sir. That was really a valuable knowledge for all of us. Now, Tanya ma'am, we would like to take the final word from you. What is about educating the Indian masses about the cryptocurrency?
Well, education is important. I don't think I need to add on too much to that point, that you need to educate the masses. But I mean, there are, in terms of crypto traders, you'll be surprised to know that there are a lot of people in India, in our tier 2, tier 3 cities, when crypto trading is something that's keeping them awake at night. So in terms of the number of people who are trading, India, by simple virtue of, being a large market, right, there would be at least 1 million traders. I'm not really sure about the statistics of the data here, but however, when it comes to the trading volumes, that's where we're a little far behind. And just like in order to expand the trading volume and stuff, right, it needs to be more mainstream. What I feel that you need to do is that there are two categories of people, right? One is people who are actually traders and who and then there's another category of people who are like passive investors who invest and they park their money, just like the stock market, right? Stock market is extremely mainstream in India, right? You have channels, business channels that are dedicated to it. You have news that's constantly coming out. There are a lot of active communities. There are groups. There are people who are handling people's portfolio in stock market, to help people grow their money. But I think that kind of a mainstream adoption for crypto, and to get more people to trade in crypto is going to take a little bit of time. But I don't think that we're very far behind in terms of the Indian youth that is actively trading and are self-educating themselves. Very, very smart people, but of course mass adoption will require a lot more efforts, and we have some big players which are always taking these steps and initiatives to ensure that there is the right education about this industry, which is very important. Yes.
Well, we thank you for your inputs, ma'am. I'm sure all of us have learned a lot from all that has been said today. There have been some really good points debating about the decentralization and whether or not it can be stopped. So it's a good question to ponder for the future here at Futuristic Escapade. And let's just say that the one question that people wanted, it has been sufficiently answered. So I'd like to thank all of you panelists for being here today, taking out time from your busy schedules and talking to the people about this. So on behalf of the Entrepreneurship Development Cell, I really, really thank you for being such an essential part of ESUMMIT 22. And I'm sure it has been a great learning experience for all of us and has armored us with a lot of knowledge about cryptocurrency and the financial markets, financial literacy. And I think this also motivates us to be more financially literate and take a greater initiative while researching and getting into cryptocurrency. Thank you very much, panelists.
Just to add that, I think I like the point that you're adding, that you're concluding on, which is called financial literacy. I think first that's very important to understand that investments are very important, and there are not too many women in this space. There is not so much of discussions that people have in our Indian families about investment as an active skill. So that's very important. I'm taking that little initiative, where I create a lot of content on. I'm also associated with, certain international projects, where I'm helping with the marketing and stuff. So while I'm doing Eat My News, right? But crypto is a passion of mine, and I actively create a lot of content on crypto space on my Instagram. So whoever's here, I'd love to get connected with you on Insta. You can find me as Tanya Katpal there, TAANYA. And hope to see you there. Thank you so much for having me here. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. And I think this was a great discussion. And we should do this kind of discussion time and again, because these are some subjects which needs a discussion. We need to understand, and I think a lot of people are already watching that. I don't know whether we are going to put it on YouTube or not, because people will also try to understand this kind of questions and views from different people, from different age group, from different walks of life, from different industries. So this is brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your inputs. And lastly, thank you, Mr. Asutosh and Mr. Vatsal, for being here today. Mr. Asutosh had some problems while joining, but thank you for taking time out and being here. I thank you all for coming. And that's it from our side. Good evening. And we'll be seeing you soon in the next e-talks.
Thank you.